The RBC British Airways Visa Infinite card is one of the most overlooked cards in the Canadian credit card space. It's often overshadowed by its sister card, the RBC Avion Visa Infinite. But is this the card you should really get if you find yourself engaging with the Avios program pretty often? Hey guys, welcome back to the CreditVerse channel. If you're new here, my name is Alion, and today we're going to be diving deep on the RBC British Airways Visa Infinite card. We're going to start off with the bonus, talk about the perks, earn rates, benefits, and insurances with this card. We're also going to talk about how you can use your points you earn on this card. And finally, before we wrap up, we'll talk about some alternatives to this card and maybe give you an idea of who this card is really for. Welcome bonuses are often a reason people get credit cards. A welcome bonus is pretty much just a certain number of points you're going to earn when you hit a certain spend threshold within a certain amount of months for a card. For the BA card, this ends up being 60,000 Avios points. You earn 15,000 points just when you sign up for the card, 35,000 when you spend $6,000 on the card within the first 3 months, and a further 10,000 when you renew a card for the second year. The last part of the bonus is a little bit frustrating, as you do need to hold the card for a second year and pay that second annual fee to get the full bonus, but if you are making good use of a lot of the perks, it could make sense just renewing anyways. Moving into the earn rates. Earn rates are just how many rewards you earn on this card with your day-to-day spend. For the BA card, they've become a little bit stronger than they were in the past, but they're still not fantastic. Prior to April 15, 2024, this card earned 2 Avios per dollar spent at BA and 1 Avios for every dollar spent everywhere else, which was pretty dismal. Since then, BA has changed the card just a little bit and made it a bit more competitive with cards in this segment. You earn 3 points per dollar spent at BA, which is a 50% increase. You earn 2 points per dollar spent at dining, which is a 100% increase, and 1 point everywhere else. It would have been nicer to see some slightly stronger earn rates with this card, as there are some much cheaper cards that have better earn rates, like the RBC Ion Plus. I wouldn't use this card for my day-to-day spend after hitting the bonus, just because the earn rate is really not that strong compared to other cards you'll probably have in your wallet. There are some exceptions though. The first would be when I'm using the 10% off you get on BA flights with this card and I'm booking with cash. Or the other option would be when I'm paying the taxes and fees on a BA award booking, just because you get insurance with that award booking. Perks and features are quite reasonable on this card relative to the $165 annual fee. You earn 3 cents per liter and get 20% more Petro points at Petro-Canada stations, which is nice to have, especially with gas prices going up. You'll also earn 50 BWell points for every dollar spent at Rexall, like all the other Avion cards. You're also eligible to get Dash Pass for free for a year with this card, which is pretty nice if you're using DoorDash pretty often. Perhaps you're using it maybe even once a month. You're going to save $4 or $5 from that over the course of an entire year. You'd maybe get $50 or $60 back. One of these standout features for all co-branded cards ended up being the companion voucher, and BA did make some tweaks to this and making it a little bit better for us to redeem. The way to get the voucher remains the exact same. You spend $30,000 on the card every year, which amounts to about $2,500 per month, and you're going to get a companion voucher at the end of that year. This is pretty in line with what we see with some other companion vouchers, like the Air Canada Worldwide Companion Pass, but it's not really anything like we see with the RBC cards, where you just get a companion voucher by holding the card anyways. The changes come in the way you use the companion voucher, and I would say they're actually pretty beneficial. Previously, the only way to really use a companion voucher was to waive the Avios needed for the second passenger on an award booking, but now you can actually take a discount on your own flight, which is much better. You can save 50% on your own booking, which can make that 70,000 point Montreal to Doha hop just 35,000 points in Qatar Airways Q suites, which is a stellar deal. The insurance suite on this card is pretty solid, with the standout feature being that you get travel insurance on bookings made with Avios points if you pay the taxes and fees with this card. If you tend to use BA or their partners pretty often, just paying $165 to get a year of travel insurance every single year on all of your award bookings is not a bad price to pay at all, in my opinion. The rest of the insurance suite is pretty okay. It's nothing stellar like you get on Amex Platinum or even maybe an Amex Gold, but it's still pretty solid. You get the standard out-of-province medical coverage, car rental insurance, hotel burglary insurance, and a couple of other things, but there are a couple of things you miss out on which I think would be really good to add to this card. The first thing it's lacking is mobile device insurance, which we're seeing pop up on more and more cards, and it's kind of sad that this card is still lacking it because I think it would be a great addition to have. Another perhaps more glaring omission is the lack of trip cancellation or trip interruption insurance, which is something I'd really want to have, and it really can save your tail if things go wrong, but again, you can't really have everything with this card. Before we get into how you can use the hefty bonus with this card, if you are enjoying the video thus far, please hit that subscribe button down below as it helps us out quite a lot. Now on to our favorite part, how can you actually use the points? You get 66,000 points as a bonus with this card, with 60,000 coming as the standard bonus, and you get at least 6,000 points by the 1 point per dollar spent for the $6,000 of minimum spend required. There are several ways you can really redeem this bonus, all with slightly different values. The first, and perhaps the easiest, is just flights through BA's own portal. Now, economy class redemptions tend to not be the strongest, and business class redemptions on BA's own airplanes also tend to not be great because you are levied with pretty high surcharges if you're flying in and out of the UK. The second way, which we think ends up being the sweet spot, is by using a lot of the other oneworld partners that BA is partnered up with. Since we talk about Qatar Airways Q suites almost every single video, we're going to spare you from that this time and maybe give you some better options that might be a little bit more interesting. Finnair is one of the less popular options that we don't really see talked about very much, but it's a really good way to use your Avios. Finnair recently joined the Avios points currency, meaning your British Airways Avios are now worth the exact same as Finnair's Avios. You can transfer points back and forth freely between the two, which makes it a really good redemption option. If you're based on the West Coast, you can take a quick repositioning hop over to LAX and fly LAX to Helsinki for just 62,500 points in business class, which we think is absolutely stellar. Other fun options could be using Japan Airlines, both in economy and business class. With the economy class, you can go from LAX or places on the West Coast over to Tokyo for just 27,500 points, which can be pretty useful when the cash rates are really high, especially during the summer and winter periods. Business class is also another option here, but you do need to book as far ahead in advance as possible, as these are some of the most coveted award seats on the entire market, so just be sure to see them and snap them up if you get a chance. So let's talk about who this card is really for and what some of the alternatives may end up being. To talk about who this card is really for, first we're going to talk about one of the main disadvantages with this card. As with all other co-branded cards, this card suffers from something we call lock-in. Lock-in is pretty much just the fact that you can only redeem your points for British Airways or maybe some of their partners, as opposed to maybe some other flexible points currencies like membership awards or RBC's own Avion program. Let's take membership awards as an example, where if you can't find any availability with BA or their partners on the dates you're wanting to fly, you can always just transfer your points over to Air Canada Aeroplan if you find some dates there. RBC's own in-house points currency Avion also gives you the ability to transfer out to more partners other than just BA. Of course, you can transfer to BA, but you can also transfer to Cathay Pacific, American Airlines, or even WestJet. So if you're finding some availability there, you can always just book there and not really have to worry about that lock-in effect you suffer with BA. So if you're someone that chases that flexibility quite a lot and you have maybe some fixed travel dates every single year where you're not entirely sure when you'd be able to book and you want to maintain the most flexibility, perhaps this card is not really the best for you. If you engage with the Avios program quite a bit, this is probably one of the strongest cards you can get because you get insurance on all your award bookings, which can save you thousands of dollars in case things do end up going wrong. If you were thinking about this card before watching this video and now you're not entirely sure, there are a couple of alternatives that you may want to consider instead. The American Express Cobalt card and the RBC Avion Visa Infinite card are two of the ones that really come to mind as true competitors for this card. If you really value that flexibility we've been talking about for the past couple of minutes, the Amex Cobalt is probably the best card to get, as it has really strong earn rates. You earn 5x on dining and food delivery, which is basically 10% back when you're redeeming for travel, which is not touched by anything in the Canadian credit card landscape, but you do lack on a couple of other things, like perhaps travel insurance. The bonus is also only 15,000 points on the Cobalt, compared to about 60,000 points on this card, so again, that's another thing you may want to consider. The RBC Avion card would be the other alternative here, and you can transfer points between Avion and Avios. Don't worry, we get those names mixed up all the time as well, at a 1-to-1 ratio, which again makes it pretty much just a RBC British Airways card in disguise. The issue though is that the earn rates are a lot weaker on the Avion card, only earning 1 point per dollar spent everywhere, and a 25% bonus on travel bookings, which is really not nearly as strong. The BA also takes the lead when you talk about the welcome bonus, as the highest bonus we've ever seen on the RBC Avion Visa Infinite is 55,000 points, and currently the BA card is sitting at a 60,000 point bonus, so again, that's just something to consider. The travel insurance is a little bit better on the RBC Avion card compared to the British Airways Avios card, but it goes without saying that you don't get insurance on award bookings with Avion or even with the Amex Cobalt unless you're using Avion points or membership reward points respectively. In conclusion, we feel this is one of the most underrated cards on the Canadian market, if of course you are engaging with the Avios program quite a bit. The earn rates have definitely gotten stronger, the bonus is really strong compared to other cards in the segment, and while the insurance isn't perfect, it does still have insurance on award bookings, which you miss out on a lot of other cards when you're booking with Avios. If you have really high monthly spend, and trying to earn a lot of Avios points as quickly as you can, maybe the Amex Cobalt is a better option for you, as you have that really high earn rate on dining and food delivery, as well as grocery, and pretty strong earn rates on other things as well, that are not really capped at anything unreasonable. If you do end up getting this card, or just have a bunch of Avios sitting in your account and you're not really sure how to use them and you're having some trouble finding award space, be sure to send an email to our team at contact@creditverse.ca and we'd be happy to help you out book the trip of your dreams. With that, we're going to wrap up today's video. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to give it a like, and if you want more content of this delivered straight to your sub box, be sure to subscribe. With that, we'll see you next week. Take care.